Hello YouTube, James Green here, another short series Shenanigans. I've got my hard point up here with the new Canon camera that I've had this camera for about a year now. And as we all have our cameras, we use them for family video and stuff. And so I got permission from the wife to be able to use it on my YouTube stuff. And so we take care of it, keep it out of the grinding and whatever. So we're now switched from using the old phone, because this is what I was using to shoot my other videos, just the old Samsung S4. And so anyway, got the new mount up, everything. What we're going to be working on today here, let me go and get my hat off. Obligatory military appreciation type thing here. This was one of the units I used to be in back in the day, and they don't exist anymore. They've there we go, the old 377 air ambulance in Korea. There used to be two units up there, them and the 542nd. And 542nd is now at Fort Campbell, and this one has changed names, and it's at Camp Humphreys. Anyway, so we'll get the hat off. We'll hang it up here out of the way. So, as you can see, we're going to work on, this is another short series Shenanigans, folks. And so what we're working on today is getting back on the toy cannon. And I'm going to, this will be the first time that I'm going to attempt to weld on video and show you guys TIG weld. The machine I'm using is an Everlast Power Pro 205. I've been very pleased with it. It's a multi-process machine, and I love it. The settings that we're going to be using today on the machine, we have a I have a flexible head, so I can flex around, and number 8 gas stubby lens, 3/32, 2% lanthanated tungsten. We're flowing about 20 liters a minute straight argon. So excuse me, getting back on the toy cannon build, we're going to be these are the little wood carriages that everything goes on. To kind of reiterate, this is one of the older ones I had that I found that I needed to finish up. So what we'll be doing is we'll be welding on the axles today, and I've already went through, and so we'll be welding them on to get the wheels and stuff done. The other day I went through, because I had the chemical out, and I just did the cold bluing on them, as you can see. But what I did is I went back over the surface, the side that I'm going to weld on, and I went ahead and just used a Scotch-Brite as what I did with this. Is just 1018 cold roll, threaded quarter 28. Since I have an abundance of quarter 28 nuts, I'm going to use them. So anyway, another reason I like this little plate here is because it's already got a grid pattern on it, so I use it when I'm doing small stuff like this to square up. I've already got one set up here with a magnet, and I don't know if I'm not going to move I don't want to move everything because I've got it set up, but it's one of those kind of arrow looking red magnets, and so I've got everything set up. Kind of show you where all the welding started from. Some of you are sitting here looking at this going, what is that? Well, that's Mr. Robot. I created Mr. Robot. This is what got it all started when I was about 7 or 8 years old. The old man had the old Lincoln Cracker Box welder out, and Dad, I want to weld, Dad, I want to weld, Dad, I want to weld. Okay, well here, he grabbed a bunch of scraps and said, here, build a robot. And it was a big pile, of scrap stuff. He said, well here, build a robot. And I don't remember what rod he handed me, and he says, well, figure out your settings. And I don't remember what it was, but anyway, so I've kind of glass beaded him off a little bit. Mr. Robot had some paint on him over the years, but I just took pieces of stuff that he had and said, here, build a robot. And it was stuff in his scrap pile. And so Mike Reggie and other guys, you can appreciate this, that do welding for a living a lot more than I do. So yeah, Mr. Robot, yeah, I use him to hold rod or different things at times. But Mr. Robot has served me well over the years. Kind of reminder of, hey, this is where we come from. This is where it all starts. So I just ran across him recently. My mother had a bunch of stuff, and she's like, "Hey, I found your robot." So anyway, so we figured we'd clean him up. We may do a little bit more glass beading on him, and maybe give Mr. Robot a proper paint job. So, Mr. Robot, we're going to sit him over there so he can watch. And we're going to be using, if I can get it, regular ER70 S2 or 706 S2. Anyway, regular mild steel rod here is what we're going to be using today, folks. Nothing fancy. And so let me get my chair set up here. Also, when I was out bluing the other day, had some stuff, that dicker pan I was talking about. I just went ahead and threw the wheels in it as well too. I haven't, they're kind of matty, I guess you want to call it. I need to go back through and wipe them down real good, because that's what I like about being able to use that stuff. You can just put it when you have lots of things to do. You just put a little bit in a container and just dump them all in there and roll them around, and they get covered. And then of course, yeah, I let them hang for about 15-20 minutes, and then you just come back with WD-4 as far as the hold, and you just spray it on there, and that's what stops the reaction process. So that's kind of a messy process, but we figured we'd show that there. All right, we'll get this up out of the way. All right, everything's set. We have our rod, we have our pieces, we have our gloves. We've got our dig finger here. I use that. I got the big new one because I need it when I'm up here doing stuff. I like it, very handy. Broke down, got me some new gloves here a couple weeks ago, and so thinner, real nice. So we're gonna try those today. All right, I don't know how this is gonna work, but I'm gonna go ahead and turn the machine on and we're gonna get started. We're going to be running about 125 amps max. Got my foot pedal down here. And so, alright. Might have to adjust the camera light a little bit so it doesn't mess with the hood. Show you my magnet. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm using. So slide it over there, spin it around, use it to just kind of hold it from sliding around and get back in it. These little axles are 3/4, correction, 3 inches long, so we're going 1.5 inches to center. They're 1/4 inch cold roll. Make sure I'm not getting my head in the way there. Let's see. Even though these are toys, I still want them to look good. Okay, 1.5 inches to center. All right. We're setting these about 2.5 inches from the front, approximately. So they have a good balance. All right, they're down, it's flat, it's flush. These go pretty quick. Well, slipped up there. slipped and touched the tungsten. Oh well, still nice and sharp. Nothing critical on these welds. Again, they're just toys. But if I were welding on a project other than just a toy, I'd stop, pull it out, resharpen like what you're supposed to do. But I've got one left, so it's not going to be that critical for this. Now this one's a little shorter, so it's going to be a little different as far as from the front distance. Let's see, overall length we are, let's go 2 inches for that front. Close enough. Come over here. Inch and a half to center. Good, tight, on. Take fingers on. The rod. Position. This is acting goofy after I touch that tungsten, so having trouble getting it to wash in. There we go. Yeah, after I touched it, it was acting real goofy. So, but again, this is the last one. It's just a toy. So, twist this around real quick. But definitely, if I was welding on something that as far as structural integrity or whatever, I would have definitely stopped, pulled the tungsten out, resharpened, and because it's definitely, the arc's dancing around. That kind of cleaned itself up a little bit, but still, it's not like it's supposed to be. So that was the last one there, and it's off. Okay, it's off. That's done. Let me shut the machine off real quick. Let me shut my gas off. There we go. All right. Okay, so that was the first time me welding on camera for you guys. Again, I'm not a super duper professional hot shot welder. But anyway, what I do works. I used to be a lot better before I had my elbow worked on and elbow repair. So this elbow's been rebuilt along with the hand, you guys can see. So I have muscle control issues. So sometimes it actually works better for me to hold the stinger in my left hand, depending on what I'm doing. If I want it to look really, really, really pretty, then I'll put the stinger in my left hand and feed the rod with the right, and weld like a lefty. But anyway, so all right, those worked out great. That works out great as usual. I've got the normal ones and I've used the heck out of them. I love them. All right. So there we go. I welded on camera for the first time. We got all these done. I'm gonna let them cool off. Pull this out of the way. Set it over here. But anyway, that's another use, and I saw a gentleman commented about this. You can tell there's actually some dovetail cuts on the side of this, guys, where there was like a clamp, it looks like some sort of fixture and moving to where you could like a pantograph and engraving and stuff. So but anyway, he sent me a link, and it's pretty interesting as far as there was a lot more pieces that went with this. And from what I understand, it did have these holes tapped, or well, some of them did tapped from the factory like this. Some of these I've retapped and to fit normal screws. I think this was an oddball screw thread, and so I went and retapped them to fit normal, something that I have common stock of. So anyway, cast iron plate, I pull it off every once in a while, glass beat it down, clean it up, and use it. You see how it works great. It's up, it's hollow. Matter of fact, I'll show you guys now that I'm done welding. I'll pull that up, pull this out of the way. I usually throw this copper strap up under here, hook my stinger up to it. So, to kind of give you guys a look at it, there's the edges I was talking about that are on it. You can see. And there's the underneath. I kind of went under and glass beaded it so that when I'm up under there working and trying to get the nuts started, you can see where there's a hole where you could put a fixture in there, and you could capture it, like if you want to do an indicator or a holding fixture. That's why I like this so much. Is I have used this in the past. Is I get a piece of rod put in there, tighten it, and you can use like a third hand, like if you're holding a project and you don't want to mag mount. But it worked out great because I was actually doing something where I used this and one of these mag mounts along with, you know, holding stuff in place to weld to fixtures. So there's a million and one uses out there for them things. Anyway, so there is my kind of an update, excuse me. Again, kind of this is how it all got started. I think I was 7 or 8, and so with an old cracker box, and he just kind of reminds me, you know, good times back in the day. Also ran across the other day, as I'll pull these off out of the way. They're kind of warm. I'll just we'll set them over here. All right. Cooperate, please. There we go. Kind of this old tool, along at the same time within that same week of me making Mr. Robot here. I was introduced to my first set of tools. Now, I had totally forgot that I had these. Again, I'm in the process of still going through stuff I've got had packed up for literally decades. So, you know, now that I bought this house and settling in and getting my man cave set up, slowly going through, hey, do I need to keep it? Do I want whatever? And this was down in a box, and I got verklempt. There you go. I needed to take a minute, drink some coffee, talk amongst yourselves. Anyway, Saturday Night Live skit. It's very funny. Anyway, I had a moment, and I was like, this is where the interest began in tools and working on stuff. So this is where the tool hoarding, or the tool problem, it all began. Ta-da! An old SK socket set, and it's got a few additions to it. You know, a couple snap-on extension and whatever, but this is the tool set that's responsible for starting it all, working on lawnmowers and stuff. So where we lived at the time, I had to mow everything. I think it maybe had an 18-inch blade on it, if that, and it was like 5 acres, and you turned around twice and the weeds grew 4 feet. So I was always having to work on that thing. It's a wonder I didn't pull my arms out of the socket as a child. But you know, hey, that was a work ethic I grew up in. Work, keep yourself busy. And so I use this a lot, working on that lawnmower. Every time I'd hit a rock, you know, changing blades, or learned about changing out the half moon key whenever, you know, it spun it out of timing and stuff. So, and bike repair kit. Oh yeah, me and this socket set, old SK. Let's see if I can show you here. Old school retro. There's the SK logo. And so this is, my old man gave me this, was the first socket set. And I still go to it from time to time. And and there's the old spark plug socket that we used to change that spark plug out of that lawnmower a bazillion times. And this is one that I made some time back. It's a piece of metal tubing, and I needed a socket for a specific size, and I didn't have it. I may have it in here now. But I took the bolt head and slowly with a piece of, or not a bolt head, a piece of flat steel, and slowly worked it around. And I'll hold it up to the camera there. And slowly, you can kind of see I needed to get in a tight area. And so it's just a little piece of tubing. Talk about being inventive back in the day. There you go. And so made a little bitty, had to get in somewhere to tighten a, bolt, I guess. I don't remember. So anyway, there you go. Kind of show up to the camera there. Old school SK socket set. That is the tool set that started it all, folks. So anyway, there you go, a little bit of this old tool thrown in there with the toy cannon update. So figured I'd share that with you guys and gals. Have a retro tool moment there. So I may clean the outside of that box up and give it a coat of paint. I don't know. Glass bead it all, pull it out, clean it up, put it up, because it'll never go anywhere except whoever gets all my tools after I pass away. Millennia from now, hopefully. But anyway, there you go, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share, pass the word. I appreciate the comments, all the new subscribers. Let me get my face in here so you guys can see me. All the new subscribers, I appreciate it, guys and gals. I do this as a hobby just to keep myself busy. And so again, I take to heart whatever suggestions you have as viewers out there on YouTube. Let me know, fellow YouTubers. Hey, what can I do to make things better? And what would you like to see? I try to do things a little different than the other YouTube family out there. And so that way it's different. Hence the name Short Serious Shenanigans. Although the videos are getting longer now, I may just change it to Serious Shenanigans. So who knows? But anyway, there's a little update. If you're interested in learning more about the tool blackening process that I did, and you want another demonstration as far as I'll sit down now that I've got the camera and can produce a longer, better quality video, and I will show you all the steps. And so I've got some more stuff in the wings. I've also, when I redid those wheels, I also did a indicator, or a surface indicator. There we go. And I'll show you. It's an old Brown and Sharp. The Japanning was gone off the base of it, and I'm like, you know what? It's not really that old, and it's not a super collector's item, so I went ahead and took all the Japanning off, and I did everything, and I'm going to put it back together today and show you guys. So, but anyway, what I'll do is, since these will have to go back into the blackening process, and I'll glass bead them off and re-prep the surfaces, and that's what I'll do, is I'll show that process again on all of this. I just went ahead and threw something on them the other day just because I had the chemical out, and when you have it out like that and you use it in a pan, you might as well do everything you can find at once, because when you're done it just goes in the trash. So I put something on there just to cover it up because we had some moist weather coming through. For those of you that live in humid climates, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't get something on it, it's going to rust. And oh, there's a big pickup or truck. Anyway, there we go. Another installment of Toy Cannon Short Serious Shenanigans. And so the next video series we do on these will be doing the blackening, the tool blackening of the cannons, the barrels themselves, and starting to do some assembly process. But I'll take you through that whole, it'll be a video, whole video on tool blackening. I'll go back through, redo it, go over it again now that I've got a better quality camera and the ability to shoot a longer video, and I will do that. So that way you guys can get the full, the understanding. It's all about metal prep, metal prep, metal prep. But anyway, again, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Be safe, YouTube family. Take care. Bye.